I have grave doubts about carbon dating in many cases, because carbon dating doesn't date stone, it dates organic materials. So the notion that you can date a megalithic site with carbon dating is questionable right away.
And check this out, Hancock is correct. Carbon dating is only able to date organic materials, so the general process for trying to assign a date to these archaeological finds is to look for a piece of organic material that's associated with the megalith and date that instead. And as Hancock points out, this is a huge problem when it comes to accuracy.
I have that problem with the huge Moai statues in Easter Island. They're not carbon dated. What's carbon dated is the platforms they stand on. And there's a lot to suggest that those platforms are much later than the original statues, and the statues were re-erected on those platforms. In the case of Gobekli Tepe, one of the very special things about it is that it was deliberately buried. They ran that site for about 1,000 years, from 11,600 to, say, 10,600 years ago, and then they closed it down.
Take a look at this. Because it gets extremely weird, they didn't just bury it, but did so incrementally, indicating they had a plan from the very beginning to bury the entirety of these stone pillars they had created and carved. Even today, nobody is exactly sure why they buried it either, or what it was for. And while we're still unclear as to why Tepe was built, Graham does share some of his theories as to why it was built and why they ended up covering it.
And they went to great effort to fill up all the enclosures with rubble and to create a hill over the top of it. And that's why Gobekli Tepe then remained untouched for the next 10,000 years. There's no danger of contamination with younger carbon from a later culture.